Monarch Legacy of Monsters
On
that
Apple
came out on
TV
Apple
Plus.
TV Plus mere months ago. It finished whilst we were having a tiny baby.
The series is starring Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell.
I lost my headphones again. Sorry. All right, there we go. The series is starring Kurt Russell and...
But
I gotta be honest. I love the MonsterVerse. All right, I love it. Godzilla 2014, magnificent. Kong Skull Island, better than it should have been. All right,
It's true.
Loki and Captain Marvel,
Oh, yeah.
fucking some monkeys. It's a great movie. All right, it's fucking. There's a stick spider. It's crazy.
No, that's
It's
the bamboo
crazy.
spiders. I don't like those.
It's crazy. So good. So good. Then Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Got what's a king? King Kong. Godzilla, King of the See what's going on here? Which was fantastic. I love King of the Monsters. Honestly, probably outside of Godzilla -1, probably my favorite Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
And it's close. But like one is straight up popcorn awesomeness. And the other is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And then we got Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
Dawn of Justice. And it was... I want to rewatch it, okay? I'll say this about Monarch Legacy Monsters. It was so good that it made me want to give Godzilla versus Kong another chance.
Yeah.
Like, it was that good. And like, because I was kind of low on that one. Just like some of the stuff they decided to do, you know.
Yeah, and like also, like whoever wrote the movie, like you needed to be like a little bit biased, I think. Like
To Godzilla?
well, like you know, like it's just like everybody's against Godzilla,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and we're all for the King Kong.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, some of us really love Godzilla.
Godzilla,
so why can't
savior of San Francisco, question mark? Remember when that was on all the billboards
Yeah.
and stuff? When he was slumping away out of there and just fucking knocking buildings.
He just flipped off everybody as he went by.
Godzilla just flicks his cigarette and says, "Fuck off, San Francisco."
It goes up in flames.
And they're like, God, he's so fucking cool. He's our savior.
God, we
I
love
love Godzilla.
we love you, Godzilla.
We fucking worship him. There's a reason he puts the God in Godzilla. Okay. And then, yeah, they were like, oh my God, Godzilla sucks now? Man, I am betrayed. And they're like, oh, and now we got a giant monkey. We got a giant monkey now. Oh, and what's this? They're fighting. And now we're going to the middle of the earth, and it takes a long time the first time, but it only takes a second coming up. You know what I mean? It's like just going down and going up. Listen, all that aside, I like this show, Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Okay, for a non-Godzilla show, I think it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Now,
I do too.
there were like one or two episodes that I was like, you know.
Yeah.
I actually really prefer the young, like the 50s storyline. If you don't know how the show works, it's two timelines, or well, not two timelines, but well, yeah, I guess it's two timelines, but not in like a multiverse way. It's like half the show takes place in the 50s, the other half takes place like 2 years after Godzilla. G-Day,
Past,
as they like to call it.
future.
Yeah, they play the same character.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I really preferred the past. I thought the past stuff was really good, showing how Monarch first got started, and like it syncs up with some of the early footage we saw of Godzilla in 2014, where they like bombed the shit out of him and stuff. So it was kind of cool getting more context around that.
It was small.
But the modern day stuff was decent.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was good. It's just, I feel like it was probably my least favorite.
I feel like some of that dragged out too much.
Yeah, and like there's a couple episodes where they stuck just with those people in the present, and I wasn't engulfed enough in their story to really like give a shit. So I mean, that was the only thing that kind of dragged it down just a little.
Yeah,
just a little, not a lot. But by the time we got to the end of it, I loved it. Like, I mean, I thought everybody's story was well worth it. You know, and if you've not watched it, just as not even a warning, but just as a heads up, there's not like a ton of like titans in the show. Again, that's what they call the giant monsters. So, I mean, each episode was never going to be Godzilla, King of the Monsters. You know, like, it was never going to be that. We all knew that.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I didn't think we was really going to get any Godzilla at all.
Yeah.
We got way more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Because I figured we would get just there, like in the trailer, there's a shot of Godzilla going across like the Golden Gate Bridge, singing up with the 2014 movie. And I figured that's it. I figured that's all he was going to get. I really didn't think he was going to play any part at all in the series. Not as like not even a character, but like I thought maybe we'd get a cameo or something, but he actually was like an integral part of the story.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. And also we got to see some other monsters.
Yes.
Especially that one that was in the pond or something. That thing was weird.
The pond.
It happened in the past, in the 50s, where they go to Japan because another scientist found a way to...
Oh, yeah. No, I really like the show, honestly. Yeah. I've not been like super engulfed in like the Monarch story.
No.
Right? Like, it always just kind of felt like just the thing that kind of bridges the stories together. Almost like S.H.I.E.L.D., you know? Like... It's not really why I'm showing up to these movies, but like it's enough of a thread to like string it all into a plot.
Yeah.
And this really made me care much more about Monarch, just in general, you know.
Yeah.
So I was happy. I was really happy about it. Let's go ahead and move into the spoiler section so that we can get a little more detailed.
Spoilers.
Full spoilers for Monarch Legacy of Monsters. I don't know what I was wanting to bring up now. I just completely flatlined. The Godzilla fight at the end. So there is a big Godzilla fight. There's an actual Godzilla fight. Yeah. And I was surprised that we got that much.
Yes.
Like getting the Godzilla footage we got from the 2014 movie, I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And then when we got Godzilla rising from the desert, I thought that was awesome. Like I definitely didn't expect it to be Godzilla. I figured it'd be like a Titan of some kind, but not Godzilla. And then Godzilla actually showing back up at the end of the movie, or at the end of the show, and like having a full-on kaiju fight. Like that was fucking rad. That
was really cool.
And like I've seen some people say like it made the show worth it. And like I agree with the love you're showing it, but like I think the show was worth it regardless.
Yeah.
You know, like it was so good.
Yeah, it was. And it's really cool to see how Wyatt and Kurt Russell, especially Wyatt, can sound and act exactly like his dad. And they did like an interview or something. Yeah. And they were both laughing the same way, and it was hilarious. But like you said, like I think the whole show was worth it. Yeah, there was some slow episodes, but I think overall I really liked it.
Yeah. And I appreciate the context that they gave to like the Apex Corporation.
Yeah.
And even like at the very end with the tease of Kong and like the fact that it's leading into the Godzilla versus Kong storyline and stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting time jumps. Like I just didn't. I mean, I know they kept mentioning how old Kurt Russell was.
Yeah. And
like that he looked good for his age, but I just didn't
think
anything about it, you know.
I didn't either.
I just thought maybe he had like, because he'd been exposed to the kaiju or something, like maybe it had slowed down his aging or so, you know, I figured it'd be something like that, but I didn't think he was going to skip over
20
years. And then of course the grandmother.
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome. That whole thing, like by the time we got into that final episode and that whole story starts playing out, that was amazing. Yes. Like it made the present storyline totally worth sitting through everything. Yeah. I still wasn't a huge fan of I can't think of her name, but the female protagonist that like kept turning on him.
Was it May?
Is it May? Is that the one that like dated her brother?
Yes.
Yeah. Like nothing against the actress or anything. It's just like there's a couple episodes that was just about her, and like it kind of, to me, it felt like filler, you know, or even like the brothers episode where it's like his art show and stuff. Like that too kind of felt like filler. That may have been the same episode. I honestly don't remember. Like I just remember watching it and being like, I don't really care about this.
They they showed the brothers episode, the art show, and that's how he met her.
Yeah.
But then they do an episode about her, but also still shows
like her side of it.
Yeah, her side of it.
Okay, yeah.
Travis says it's like making a Karate Kid spinoff about Dynatox, Terry Silver's chemical waste dumping company. Coming from someone who skips Megazord fights, this sounds more for me than the movie you saw.
Wait.
That's what
do you mean you skip the Megazord fights? What do you mean? What do you mean, Travis? I need more context. You skip the Megazords fight. I don't understand.
Probably because
they're boring.
Boring?
How fucking dare you both? All right? How dare you both? The Megazords are great. I have the toys with Megazords. All right?
I don't think
wonderful.
He's like dissing the look of it.
I know. I'm just playing. I'm just fucking around. All right? I'm trying to have a back and forth. Because, see, Maggie, the more interaction we have with the chat,
you're supposed
the more
to
YouTube pushes.
You're supposed to ask questions.
Well, here's my question. Question number 1. Who do you think you are? If you're watching this and you've not watched the show, obviously, I definitely think you should check it out. If you wish that there was a bit more to the monster universe than just the movies that we've got, I think that this really helps filling in a lot of that. And actually, to me, this felt more like the Monsterverse is a universe than any of the movies have. Like, seeing Godzilla and Kong fight each other was something, but it felt more like a crossover than like, oh, this is a shared universe, you know? But I would love to see more of this. I mean, if there's another season, that would be great. But even if they just did like more, like standalone miniseries, like I'd love like a 6-episode Mothra series. Like, and it can be any of the Mothras, like, ones from like back in like the 30s or something.
Yeah.
Like I would love that. Obviously like King Ghidorah and, like all that stuff, like doing things that focus on like one particular Titan, I think could be really cool. But I mean, even if it is just more Monarch stuff, I think it's totally worth doing. I hope it did good. I don't honestly know if it did well for Apple, but I hope it did good enough that we get at least another season. I'd love for these characters to show up in Godzilla X Kong.
Yeah.
I think that would be a fun little payoff rather.
Yeah.
I think a show like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. could work really well for this. Like just another team of like Monarch agents, or like each episode they're tracking down a different Titan or whatever. Yeah. Almost like the Godzilla cartoon from the 1998 movie, Like it's almost that, but just live action.
Yeah.
Of course, budget-wise, I'm sure that'd be totally
ridiculous.
Totally impossible, but still, it'd be great. I'd love it. I loved it. I thought it was great. Maggie?
Travis says, if I rewatch Power Rangers, the Zord fights are all the same, so a skip from when it starts to when they're in the juice bar breaking up with each other through letters.